and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this autumnal suburban home. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and like normal there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So like I said, this is called a autumnal suburban home. This is built on a 30 by 20 lot in Willow Creek, and it has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And it came in at 113,263 simoleons. And then for the packs used today, for expansions I used Get Famous, Seasons, Cats and Dogs, City Living and Get Together. And then for the game packs I used Parenthood, and that's it. So no expansions and just one game pack. But I did use a few expansions, but from the expansions, for example Get Famous, all I used from there was the shingle siding. And then from Get Together, all I used there was the columns. So if you don't have those two packs, then really nothing in terms of gameplay is going to be affected, because those are kind of just decoration items. So I think as well, if you were to put that in your game and you didn't have those, it would just replace it with another wall covering or something. Or another column, so you know that'll just happen. So you can still download this if you don't have that, and even if you don't have any of the other packs as well, it's worth a try. Just downloading home and just seeing what happens, because I've done that before where I've been building a base game home. And if you don't know, what I do when I do a base game home is that I actually go into the origin game properties and just disable all the packs, because it's much easier just to disable the packs than have to go through whilst you're building and try to avoid all the other pack icons and stuff and all the pack items, because it's really hard to do that and you're tempted to buy all those items that you can't use. So I just find it's easier to do that. And once when I was doing that type of build, I just went through into one of my builds that I had packs used and put it in my game and see what would happen if I had just base game and I downloaded a build that had a load of packs in it. And it did actually do that, where I replaced items from base game, so that's really great. Now it did look a bit funky. It did have a load of random colour swatches and stuff that didn't really match together, but it is, that functionality is there. So if you kind of could use that, and then once the game's kind of replaced things, then go back through and then change colour swatches up to make it match a little bit better if you want to. So I'm actually really happy how this build turned out. This week I have been in a little bit of a sort of slump, I guess, just with recording. I sometimes get this, and I think everybody does, where I'm just kind of in a little bit of a burnout stage at the minute. And it always happens when it's coming up to a new pack and we haven't had anything for a little while. So this week I just haven't really had any motivation to record, which I wouldn't really say it out loud. I wouldn't really talk about that, but I just have, so I thought I'd just let you know. So that's why I have one less video this week, because as you know, normally I do upload on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays, Sundays being the mansion build. So I didn't get one up yesterday, so you've seen this today on Thursday instead, and then I would be putting one up tomorrow as well. So I just thought, you know what, we've got I was going to say Get Famous coming next week. We've got Discover University coming next week, so I thought, we're going to have loads of videos for that. So I thought if this week we'll have one less video, then that's fine. So that's what's happening with that. So I hope you don't mind about that though. So, this video is a little bit shorter as well in terms of the build size and the length, because of that reason too. But I just don't know why, I just wasn't in the mood to record. It's been several kind of times during the week where I've just loaded up the game, loaded up a lot, and then I've just been I just really don't want to build. I just close the game after a few minutes. So I don't know why that's been happening, but I think it's a common thing anyway amongst builders and just people who create content in general. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, because it has happened before and it passes after a while. It's kind of just, needing a break, I think. But I don't really want to take a break at the minute with Discover University coming out next week. But I think with only doing a few videos a week, it kind of helps a little bit, because I do have a few days where I can have free, and it also means by only uploading 3 times a week, still sometimes can be a lot with the mansion build within that as well, but only having 3 a week compared to some people who do a lot more, it means I can space out the videos through the week and not having to work on, and I've only got 1 day to work on the build or something. I can spread it out a bit, which is really helpful sometimes. But anyway, back to the build. So we're just working on the backyard area here a little bit. Now as you can see, we are putting a pool area in with some loungers, and I'm also going to go ahead and put a kind of a gardening station in with a few planter boxes and some stuff from Seasons here, as you can see. Now I know this is an autumnal build, so maybe those sort of things aren't really that sort of suited for this type of build, but as you know, I do try to make things sort of when I'm doing seasonal builds, to make them more suited for other seasons as well. So as you can see, that's why we're building this in summer, and I do mention this a lot when I do builds like this which are on different seasons. I do always build them in summer, so I can see what it would be like in a sort of like a generic season, I guess. So when you play with it in other seasons, it will be suitable for them as well, and it's not just, you know, something you'd only be able to play in autumn, so you can play it when the game changes in the other seasons as well. So the house inside is really cramped, but that's not such a bad thing, because I do things really spaced out in my builds, because I do a lot of mansions, and even when it comes to smaller homes as well, I do tend to make things really spaced out because of that, because that's what it tends to be like in mansions as well. So I do end up doing that in smaller homes. So today, to have everything on a much smaller scale was a nice change, so I did that today. And it made everything a lot more cozy as well. I actually really love the living room, and that's definitely really cozy, how small it is. And you'll see that a little bit later when we get onto it, and I'll talk about that then. But we've got the kitchen diner here, as you can see. It's a pretty big room, this though, but you know, just have the kitchen and diner within it. And there's also a little glass roof section on the side of it, as you can see. I didn't add the glass roof in until the end, and I actually just did that off screen. Sometimes I have weird glitches when it comes to adding glass roofs into my game. I don't know if you have this as well, but when I come to do the screenshots within a build that has a glass roof in it, like the ceiling of like the first floor or like the ground floor, it disappears when I'm taking the screenshots in tab mode. So like if you imagine I'm trying to take a screenshot of this room, the ceiling of it would be gone, and I'll be able to see the bedroom above it, if that makes sense. So I don't know why that happens. And I don't know if it's with either glass roofs or sometimes it's when I have octagonal roofs in my build. It's either one of those two. I'm not too sure which one makes that glitch happen, but I don't know if anybody knows what causes that to happen. It's really frustrating when I'm taking screenshots. So I just added the glass roof in at the end to avoid that happening. And yeah, so other things that's been happening this week, as I said, we've got Discover University coming next week. I do have some early access videos coming for that as well. I don't have the game yet though, but I can't actually say the date I can start sharing my early access videos for that either, I don't think, but I'll let you know when I can. Probably on Twitter, so you can follow me there. My username is RealThomasTV1, which is the same as my Instagram and Origin ID as well. So I'll keep you updated there. So I've got that coming up next week. I've also, well, actually another thing as well, I did also yesterday submit my next set of builds coming to console, so that'll be coming soon as well. Again, I can't say the date of the next update though, as that's confidential at the minute, but you know, that'll be coming soon too. So I'm going to keep the builds that are coming a surprise, but again, it is quite a lot coming. And I did in the last update do, I think, all mansions, maybe apart from one. So I did take that on board because I know not everyone likes to play with mansions, so I did. With this update, I do have a few more different size lots coming, so there are a few smaller ones. There's also a starter home as well, as I know some people have been requesting to see one of those. So you know, that'd be really great, and I will give you maybe just one of the builds that are coming. So in terms of a mansion, because there are a few, like I said, I'll give you one of those. So one of them will be in Autumn Mansion, the one that's titled Autumn Mansion that I did recently. So all my builds that I have on console are actually in summer, and I was thinking that I've never ported something over to console that's in a different season, so I thought for a change I would port something over in a different season. So the Autumn Mansion would be in autumn, so you'll see that in your library within a different season. So that's the only one I'm going to tell you at the minute, but there's lots of other ones coming, so stay tuned for that. Normally what I do when the update goes live, I'll make a video kind of explaining which builds are coming, but this time what I'm going to do is actually just post it on my Instagram story, because I do that in addition to it, and I thought, you know what, I do that video and the Instagram stories as well for the build. So I just thought, you know what, let's just do it as an Instagram story, because I do actually have an Instagram story highlight as well, where I have, it's kind of like a collection. If you don't know what Instagram story highlights are, it's basically kind of like little libraries and collections of Instagram stories that you have from the past, and they're kind of just bookmarked on your page. So I've got one of those on for my console build, so you can go onto that on my page now and see kind of details of all the builds that I have on console, like the prices of them, the bedrooms and bathrooms, where you place them, the lot size and things like that. So I think that'll just be much easier, because then you can go back to that at any time and just check out the story highlight if you want to see something from the console library just on your phone or whatever, because I know on the console library it doesn't actually tell you that the lots are made by me, which is a little bit annoying because it can be hard for some people to actually notice it's made by me. So I just thought, instead of having to find the video and look through the video, I think an Instagram story would just be much better, and the highlight makes it easy to find in the future as well. So I'm just going to do that. So now we're just working on the bedrooms. I didn't talk about the living room before, but as you would have saw behind the living room, like on the back wall, I did actually do like a full wall of bookshelves from City Living. Now, I didn't actually playtest that bit, but I don't imagine that those bookshelves would be functional. Now, not to worry though, because there are many other bookshelves around. Actually, there is a study room right next to that living room where there is a bookshelf, which does function, so you can just use that one. But I just wanted that back wall to be like full of bookshelves just to make it look really closed in and cozy. So I did that, and talking playtesting, I did actually playtest this entire build, so everything works. I didn't have any problems at all actually, but I didn't playtest those 3 bookshelves at the back of the living room because I didn't imagine that they would be functional anyway. I wasn't too bothered if they would be functional though, because I just wanted them there for decoration anyway. So I do playtest builds like this fully, because when they're this cramped and stuff, it's kind of sometimes hard to decide if things would be functional and if Sims would be able to walk around, you know, to get like either side of the bed and things like that. So if it's a home this small and this cramped, I would play test it. When it comes to mansions though, I don't always play test like every single aspect of it. You know, I'd make sure that the Sims can like access the kitchen, and I also do something as well, and it seems really silly, but I do also make sure the Sims can actually get from like the street through the driveway, through the porch, onto the actual front door in the home, because, you know, sometimes with train edits, like if you have a driveway or something, I always think that maybe, you know, there might be one occasion where it might make a glitch with your sim and they won't be able to actually access the home. So I always actually play test that. I've never had any problems, but I just thought I'd try that as well. So yeah, everything's working fine though, so I just thought I'd let you know. And now on the screenshots, so I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!